Welcome, friends. 100-degree ride, 5 p.m., full sun today. I'm going to talk about a concept that I've talked about before, but I'm going to say it in a way that it decides to come out of my mouth today. Is that practicing skills that need to be learned. I'm going to call my skill today tolerance. It's hot. And there's a parallel for me between riding when it's hot out and doing things that are hard to do in my life. And there's a skill of tolerance that I can take the opportunity to build. And instead of trying to build tolerance in the midst of something that's really trying, like a pressing deadline when I don't feel good or I'm very tired and I've got anxiety about getting it done and performing well, and there's other demands being placed on me that are not controllable, lots of variables in the environment, I'm choosing a different time. That time is not a time when my brain is set up for learning, when my neurobiology is set up for low emotions or at least lower emotions and lowering anxiety. But when I do something like practice a skill around tolerance, when I have plenty of time, I can change my expectations from spin, push so hard that I'm breathing so hard that I can barely take a breath, and I'm working out really hard and I'm trying to get to the top as fast as I can. I can change those expectations to just keep spinning, take breaks in the shade, go slow and keep moving in the heat. And I have a structure around myself that's highly motivating. Go for a mountain bike ride, get out in fresh air, enjoy some quiet. There is nobody in the park. Nobody. I get this place to myself. And I love to ride. So I'm structuring a practice session where I'm driving motivation up. I'm driving factors of anxiety down. And I'm allowing myself to practice doing something under challenging conditions and having tolerance for the heat. And I'm proving my tolerance. So this applies when you're taking apart behavior, like I talked about in my new book. When we're looking at behavior and looking at skills to build, we don't want to practice those skills in the midst of what drives the problem or the challenges that showed us, oh, there's a skill missing that we need to teach. Well, we don't teach it in that context. We build context around lower anxiety and higher motivation so we can practice that skill over and over, so we can develop in the person the trials and the successes around that skill. And we can use nurtured heart approach to reflect the evidence around, you have tolerance. Here's what I saw you do in the face of being in a hot environment. Just after getting over a couple of days of being sick, you used your tolerance to move through the challenging environmental factors of heat to make it to the top. And in fact, I heard you say to yourself, Josh, wow, I made it to the top and that wasn't even challenging. That's a big deal. That shows me that not only do you have tolerance, but you have the ability to perform at a higher level than you even thought you could under challenging situations. So what would that say about me? First of all, I see that I live what I preach. That when I identify a need for skill building, that I design the right practice sessions around that. I appreciate that I'm not just trying to teach people to do things so that they do them. I'm teaching from experience, from a place that is meaningful to me, from a place of, I'm going to walk through this first. I'm going to know what it feels like. I'm going to reach into the corners and find the challenges and bump into the walls and fall down and get the scrapes, so that when I teach this, I teach it from a wise application perspective and not just hey, I read this, I'm going to regurgitate it to you. So that's what I appreciate. What it reveals about me is it's another angle into my authenticity, that I am someone who deeply values authenticity, the authentic being of a person, and also their authentic sharing from a place of not just knowing, but understanding. So I'm the greatness of understanding. I'm the greatness of authentic, wise understanding. I'm the greatness. Let's see. And now, see how I'm dancing around right here? These aren't landing like, ooh, bling. That's who I am. I'm going to just allow the energy of what I talked about. So this is something that we do in Nurture Art Approach is move away from the thinking mind, move away from trying to put the words together, move away from trying to sound like a poet and sound so cool, or sound like Howard Glasser, or sound like, any one of our other trainers. I want to move into a place of, what does it feel like? What's the feeling behind what I just talked about? I'm the greatness of emerging authenticity in whatever way it emerges for me. The cutting edges, the emerging edges of authenticity, the adventure. I'm the greatness of the continued adventure of authenticity. That feels right. That's one of my compasses. So if I've already committed to navigating by greatness, then one way of navigating by greatness is to navigate via the adventure of authenticity. What feels authentic to me in this moment? That's the adventure that I'm going to take. And I continue as I take one step to then from there adventure into the next step that feels authentic, and then adventure into the next step that feels authentic. And I'm going to stay with navigation rather than getting addicted to needing some predetermined outcome. Sending love from Bidwell Park to all you on your life's adventure. Peace.